Hello, everybody, and welcome to a little intermediary episode of my vlog. This is a special episode because we are talking about LeeWeek 2021. I think that is what year it is. My sense of time, I don't know what century I'm in anymore. Things have been very weird lately, but what is LeeWeek, you ask? I might have talked a little bit about that in my previous vlog. This is an event that is mostly, it's a Tumblr thing, is hosted by Christopher Lee Fan on Tumblr, and it is the week-long event leading up to the man's birthday where we just talk about how badass and awesome Christopher Lee is, and we also like to give some attention to his best friends and fellow birthday day havers, whatever I'm trying to articulate there. Vincent Price and Peter Cushing. Vincent Price had the same birthday as Christopher Lee, which was actually, it was yesterday, and Peter Cushing's birthday is the day before them, and he also has, his birthday is the same day as Dracula Day, which is the anniversary of the publication of Dracula. This year, I think it was it's been 125 years since Dracula's been published, right? Is that right? That almost sounds right. I feel like I did the math, but me and math don't get along, so don't take my word for that. I feel like the book has to be older than that, but I don't know. I say that because the Universal Dracula movie, is that like 90 this year or next year? I think it's 90 as of next year. I think that came out in 32. No, I think that's 90 this year. I think that's 31. Nosferatu was 1922. So next year that's going to be the 100th. But that's not as important as what I'm talking about here today. Peter Cushing, as of the 26th, would have been 108. Vincent Price, as of yesterday, would have been 110, and Chris would have been 99. So next year is going to be the big LeeWeek. That is going to be his 100th. So that's going to be an exciting LeeWeek. But this year was very exciting LeeWeek. I actually completely forgot to even do anything for LeeWeek last year. So I did a drawing at some point with a promise that eventually I would remember, and I did, and I am very happy with what I made this year. The first year I did it was 2019. I think this is the 6th LeeWeek year, 6th annual LeeWeek, I should say, and I've only done it once before, and that was in 2019, and I did it more of an Inktober thing where I drew something every single day, and it was just like a lot of quick little sketches, though I did have a Saruman drawing that I spent a few days on. The goal for this LeeWeek was to do everything ahead of time, which that happened for a few pieces, but other things it was like, okay, I just need to get this done before the end of the day and it will happen. So I did kind of fall behind on some things, but let's talk about what I made. So the first day of LeeWeek, that was on, is that a Friday the 21st? That is a Friday the 21st, and let's find what I drew. It was this little comic right here, and people on Tumblr really enjoyed this comic. So some of you know Chris had quite the interesting relationship with with Hammer in general. His big breakout moment as an actor was when he starred in Dracula. That is what got him a fan club. That's what got him internationally recognized. But he really only wanted to play Dracula, I think, by the second movie, by Dracula Prince of Darkness. He was like, okay, that was fun to be Dracula. I'm done being Dracula. So it was with Dracula Returns, what the hell is it called? Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Dracula did something and there was a grave involved. They approached Chris, hey, do you want to be another Dracula movie? He's like, oh no, that's enough. I'm good with being Dracula. It's like, oh well, we kind of like sold the rights to some studio, and promised them we were gonna make like 5 Dracula movies with you in the lead, and didn't tell you about any of this. And Chris is like, well, that's really great. And they told him, like, so if you don't agree to be in this movie, a bunch of people are gonna lose their jobs and not have any money, and their families are gonna starve. And Chris is like, okay, fine, I'll be Dracula. He kind of got emotionally blackmailed into being in all the subsequent Dracula movies, and by Dracula AD 1972, he was like, he was not having it. He was not happy with the direction that the Hammer movies were taking. I actually like that particular Dracula movie. I heard it described as Dracula in an Austin Powers movie, which Chris did not like that. He did not like Dracula being set in a modern age. And then Satanic Rites of Dracula, I personally thought it was kind of a hot mess. I do know people that will defend that movie to death on the basis that it is so ridiculous, but it's like they made a spy movie, but there's a satanic cult and Dracula's kind of in it. It's something. So what I was speculating, I'm going to show you the picture again, and some people on Tumblr were saying this, like, Hammer totally was probably thinking of having a Dracula in space. After Satanic Rites of Dracula, they did, like, the Peter Cushing fights the 7 golden vampires or whatever it was. They tried to make it a kung fu movie, which Peter Cushing doesn't do any kung fu in this movie, so why the hell would you even watch it? I mean, Peter Cushing's there, but I was kind of hoping he'd do, like, maybe they'd teach him Hamon, like in the early JoJo series, early parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where he, like, learns Hamon to fight the vampires. I was hoping it would be like that, and it kind of wasn't. So, yeah, Hammer Dracula, that got a little weird. I'm sure they would have wanted to bring it to space. I would watch Dracula in space. Chris would completely despise the entire concept. Now, what did I do after that? After my fabulous Dracula in space comic. Oh yes, that's where Karis and Ananka. I love Chris in The Mummy. I really hope you guys can see what I'm showing you, because I can't see anything at all. If it looks like I'm looking directly into the sun, it's because I am, and I can't see anything on my phone screen. So hopefully you can see my beautiful portrait, Karis in his before he got mummified, and the princess. I like to draw Karis. I think Chris was pretty hot in The Mummy when he, like, wasn't a mummy. I don't know, he was still kind of handsome as a mummy. So I did that, and I forgot to grab my other sketchbook where I had the Lord Summerisle drawing. Well, that one wasn't actually the best LeeWeek piece anyway, but so there was another very quick sketch. I just drew Lord Summerisle with some deer. I like the idea that it was just like kind of an idea that they've got a little wildlife clinic set up on Summerisle, and the reason that have I specified that this is Wicker Man related? I should specify. Original Wicker Man, 1973. The reason that no government officials have been, like, poking around this island too much, trying to figure out why people keep going missing around May Day, is Lord Summerisle has declared the island to be a wildlife sanctuary. Maybe they have a little wildlife clinic. Lord Summerisle feeds baby birds. I thought of that because I volunteered at a wildlife clinic, and I like that idea that, well, Lord Summerisle he pretty much says in the movie, he's paraphrasing a Walt Whitman poem, that basically he prefers animals to people, and that's a big mood right there. I like that. So that was the other piece, and you guys don't get to see it because I forgot to grab it, but you can find it on my Tumblr. I'll put a little link down to my Tumblr where you can see all sorts of LeeWeek stuff, both mine and other people's, because I did reblog other people's art. It was a lot of cool art this year. I always like to see people's fan art. Oh, there's another LeeWeek drawing. You know what? I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to grab my sketchbook so you can see the two pieces I forgot to grab. So we'll be back in a second. As soon as I figure out how to technology. Alright, now we're back. Okay, sorry about that. So, I got the sketchbook grabbed. It might be hard to see because the drawings are fairly light. Let's scoot over here. And you can see Lord Summerisle. And then Saruman, I drew him with a non-photo blue mechanical pencil that I got recently and a little bit of graphite. Like, I can't see him at all looking at this, looking at my phone. Hopefully you guys can see something. But I always like to draw Saruman for LeeWeek, I say, as this is only the second one I've done. Because, well, both Lord Summerisle and Saruman I like to have in my lineup. Because Lord Summerisle from The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man is... It's actually my favorite movie, and it's the movie that made me a Christopher Lee fangirl. I like to have Saruman represented because that was the first movie I ever saw with Christopher Lee, and that's who he just, in my mind, that is the role he will always most be. Like, my brain goes to Saruman first. And so, and he loved Lord of the Rings. He was the only member of the Lord of the Rings cast that actually met J.R.R. Tolkien. So I think he'd be very happy to be remembered as Saruman. So that's why I like to have Saruman in my lineup. So, what was the next LeeWeek post? Ah, here we go. This is not art of Chris, but of one of his best buddies, Vincent Price. A lot of people for LeeWeek we'll have a day where it's like, all right, we're going to talk about Peter Cushing and how wonderful he was, and we're going to talk about how wonderful Vincent Price was. And there's been like branching off from LeeWeek, there is also now Price Week. This year there was Price Week, where it's like, all right, we're going to talk all about Vincent Price and Christopher Lee because we want to talk about them both because they're both awesome. So, this is something that I'd been wanting to work on for a while and just didn't have the time because I have 5,000 projects to work on. This is inspired by Alice Cooper's TV movie special, The Nightmare, which features Vincent Price. So you can see a video online with Alice Cooper and Vincent Price, and they're performing the song The Black Widow. So that was the inspiration for this. And this might be the piece that I'm the happiest with out of the whole week. I'm very happy with how this turned out. This is various kinds of graphite, ink, some white charcoal and white conte, and then gouache. White gouache. Lots of different media. Yeah, I love how that turned out. Okay. So that was one of the very exciting things that happened. Let me go through my folder of all my cool art. I'm gonna bust out like the other most awesome piece, and this took me several days to get done. I started it pretty early, and I did put a lot of work into this. This is a study of another painting of Dracula done by I don't even know how to introduce him, the monster portrait horror guy, Basil Gogos. I don't know how you say his name, but I know that he's badass. And if you've seen any old magazine covers for the famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, you know who I'm talking about. He is very cool, and I painted a homage to his Dracula. And I did have somebody tell me they liked this more than the original. I don't know. I don't think I got the level of color that the original has. And I don't think I got the likeness right, which, I mean, the person even told me they thought I had a better likeness down, but I think the original is absolutely gorgeous. Let's get a little more close up on there. I wanted those beautiful, vibrant colors, and I wanted it to still look like Chris while also having the Dracula went on a meth bender kind of look that the painting has. Just gorgeous paintings. I should say that I think the original, I'm assuming it's an oil painting. I did mine in watercolor and gouache, which I've been trying to get better at. Like, very specifically, those two things in combination. I had somebody get like really impressed when I mentioned I did something in both watercolor and gouache, as if that actually is difficult to use both of those simultaneously, which I was surprised to hear that. So I might have accidentally just did a thing, and so if I've done that, then maybe I should make it my thing. I should get better at that. So that was my that was going to be my penultimate LeeWeek piece, and there was one final thing that I planned, and that was to do a charcoal portrait. I have a charcoal portrait of Chris, and I have it right here. I can show you. I did this. I don't remember when I did this, actually. Did I date it? No, I did not. That was not very helpful of me. I've had this in a frame above my desk for a little while, a few years, and I wanted to do a new portrait this year, and that is actually the only LeeWeek post, the only LeeWeek work that I planned that just, it didn't happen. I didn't get around to it. I was spending time on the other pieces, and I'm glad I did, because like the Dracula painting and the Alice Cooper and Vincent Price piece, those look super good. So I think it was worth it to spend my time on those. The charcoal drawing, like the charcoal paper, it's physically taped down, and it's got a layer of charcoal in the background, and that's how far it got. So sometime in the future it's gonna happen. I still have all my charcoal stuff out. It's just not like, it wasn't gonna get done by tomorrow, and I was way too tired to do anything. Or did I say tomorrow? I meant to say yesterday. Oh my goodness. Alright. I've been in the sun too long apparently, but it wasn't gonna get done by yesterday. I did have something that I think was an acceptable substitute as the final LeeWeek post, and that was a cake I baked. I'm declaring Chris's birthday. That is officially Lee night in my household, though I am representing all three of our horror boys. It was a flourless chocolate cake. I made a caramel drizzle on top, and then I garnished it with some blackberries and some mint from the garden. And then I lit 3 candles for our 3 best friends, have them all represented, and it was very tasty cake. So I think that was an excellent way to end LeeWeek, and I'm happy with what I got done. I mean, some things it was only just like a super quick little piece, but I am really happy with everything I made. But next year, that's the centennial LeeWeek, so I gotta really knock it out of the park there. I gotta like not completely forget and just like miss a piece or something. Also, I gotta make an even better cake. I was thinking of making a 3-layer cake, but that seemed like a lot of work. But next year, maybe that might happen. So, thank you guys for tuning in for this special little episode. I'm going to be back in a couple of days talking about all the other stuff I got done in the course of May. So I hope you have a lovely day making art.